You walk into your bathroom, reach for your pill organizer, and line up the capsules that you've been told for years are essential for your health. You're doing the right thing, right? You're proactive. You're taking charge. But what if I told you that the very combination you're swallowing every morning might actually be canceling itself out, or worse, creating a silent chemical warfare inside your body? I'm Dr. Carter. I've spent my career working with men and women over 60, and I see it almost every single day. People come to me with chronic fatigue, digestive issues, or worsening joint pain. And when we finally look at their supplement regimen, the problem isn't that they're taking too little, it's that they're taking the wrong things at the exact same time. Most of us were raised with the idea that vitamins are just good for you, period. More is better. Together is fine. But when you're over 60, your physiology changes. Your absorption pathways aren't as efficient as they were at 40, and your stomach chemistry is more sensitive. Certain nutrients act like magnets. They bind to each other and leave your body before you ever get a single benefit. In the next 20 minutes, I'm going to share the 5 most common vitamin combinations that I, as a doctor, would never take after 60. I'll explain why they conflict, what they're doing to your digestion, and most importantly, how you can adjust your timing to make sure you're actually getting the nutrients you're paying for. You might be shocked to realize that the most expensive part of your routine is essentially being flushed down the drain. Let's make sure your hard-earned health efforts finally start paying off. To understand why this matters, we have to talk about what's actually happening inside your digestive tract. When you take a supplement, it's not just a free pass into your bloodstream. Your body has to break that capsule down, transport the minerals through your intestinal walls there, and then shuttle them to the specific organs that need them. After 60, our digestive acid mantle, that crucial acidity in the stomach, often naturally declines. This is a common part of aging, but it changes the game entirely for how you absorb nutrients. Think of your digestive system like a busy airport terminal. Every nutrient has a specific gate it needs to pass through to get on the plane. If you send too many passengers to the same gate at the exact same time, you get a bottleneck. The passengers don't get on the plane, they just get pushed out the exit. I see patients who are spending hundreds of dollars a month on premium supplements, thinking they're fixing a deficiency, when in reality, they're just creating a very expensive digestive traffic jam. I'm not here to tell you to stop taking your vitamins. Far from it. I'm here to help you become a strategist about your own health. By simply shifting when you take these, you can often double the effectiveness without adding a single extra pill to your routine. Quick favor before we go further. Drop your city, state, or country in the comments below. When I see where people are watching from, it helps me tailor the advice for what you're dealing with where you live. I read everyone. Now stay with me, because the first mismatch I'm about to show you is the one I see in almost every patient's medicine cabinet, and it's likely affecting your bone density. I remember a patient I'll call Harold. Harold was 68, active, and a regular at his local community garden. He came to my office last autumn because he was frustrated. He'd been taking high-dose calcium for his bone health, which his doctor had recommended, but he was also dealing with persistent, nagging muscle cramps in his calves at night. He felt like his energy was plateauing, and his recent blood work showed his vitamin D levels hadn't budged despite a daily supplement. He was frustrated, and honestly, a little embarrassed. He felt like he was doing everything right, the right diet, the right supplements, but his body wasn't responding. When we sat down and I asked him to bring in his pill organizer, and it became clear within seconds. Harold was taking his calcium supplement, his zinc, and his magnesium all together with his morning coffee. It looked efficient on paper, but biologically it was a recipe for failure. He was essentially forcing 3 minerals with similar absorption pathways to compete for the same limited seats on the transport proteins in his small intestine. The calcium was winning the competition, while the zinc and magnesium were being left behind to cause digestive distress, hence the cramps, and ultimately being excreted. He wasn't deficient because his body didn't need the nutrients. He was deficient because he was giving his body a choice it couldn't win. This is what I call a metabolic mismatch. It's not about the quality of the supplement, and it's certainly not about your age being an excuse. It's about the physics of digestion. When you learn to separate these players, your body finally gets a chance to absorb what you've provided. Harold started separating his doses, and within 6 weeks, those nighttime cramps were gone, and his energy levels felt more consistent. It wasn't magic, it was just common sense biology. And it's a lesson that can change how you feel starting tomorrow. Let's dive into our first major offender, the calcium and zinc conflict. This is what I call a classic competitive inhibition. In your small intestine, there are specific transporters responsible for moving minerals into your bloodstream. Think of these as a series of tunnels. Calcium, because it is required in larger amounts by the body, has a very high priority status. When you dump a large dose of calcium, especially if it's from a supplement, into your stomach at the same time as zinc, the calcium molecules effectively dominate the entry points. The zinc, which is crucial for your immune system, skin health, and hormonal balance, simply gets crowded out. It's not that your body doesn't want the zinc, it's that the calcium is physically overwhelming the pathway. By taking them together, you are significantly reducing the amount of zinc your body actually absorbs. For a man or woman over 60, this is a missed opportunity for immune support, especially during the colder months when you need your defenses at their sharpest. But the problem goes both ways. If you are taking zinc supplements to support your prostate or immune health, high doses can interfere with copper absorption too. It's a domino effect. When you take calcium and zinc together, you might feel like you're hitting your health goals, but your lab results might eventually show a decline in your zinc status that leaves you scratching your head. How do you fix it? The rule is simple: separation. If you are taking a daily calcium supplement, which many of us do for bone health, take it at a different time of day than your zinc. I usually recommend taking calcium with a meal, perhaps at lunch, while reserving zinc for a time when it won't be competing with a massive calcium dose. Maybe before bed, or with a lighter snack. It sounds like a small, almost trivial adjustment. But over the course of a year, the cumulative difference in your nutrient status is massive. You aren't just taking vitamins, you're managing your body's internal economy. I want to pause here for a second, because what I'm about to say might challenge something you've done for decades. We often think that more equals better when it comes to vitamins. But there is a phenomenon I call the nutrient ceiling. Your body has a finite capacity to process supplements in a single dose. Many people believe that if they take a giant multivitamin with 30 different ingredients, they are covering their bases. But here is the brutal reality. Your body isn't a bottomless bucket. If you cram dozens of minerals and vitamins into one morning capsule, you are essentially creating a situation where your body has to choose what to absorb and what to discard. Many of these ingredients are literally working against each other before they even leave your stomach. I've seen patients who feel like they are doing everything right, taking every essential supplement, yet they still feel drained by 3 p.m. They think they need more supplements, so they buy more. The truth? They need less confusion. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do for your health isn't buying a new bottle. It's emptying your current cabinet and simplifying your strategy. You don't need a mountain of pills. You need a targeted, intelligent approach that respects your body's biology. This isn't just about saving money, though that's a nice bonus. It's about stopping the internal friction that's keeping you from feeling as vibrant as you could be. Are you starting to see why your current routine might be feeling like a struggle? Let's keep going, because the next combination I'm going to show you involves a fat-soluble vitamin that most people take entirely incorrectly. Now let's talk about a combination that is frequently overlooked but can lead to very real frustration: iron and vitamin E. If you've ever noticed that your supplement routine leaves you feeling slightly nauseous, or if you've been struggling with iron deficiency anemia while still taking your supplements, this might be the missing piece of your puzzle. Vitamin E is an incredible antioxidant. It helps protect your cells from oxidative damage, supports skin health, and keeps your immune system resilient. Iron, of course, is vital for energy levels and oxygen transport. But here is the biological tension. When you take high doses of vitamin E, it can actually interfere with the absorption and utilization of iron. Specifically, Vitamin E can reduce the body's ability to incorporate iron into your red blood cells. If you're taking these two together, you might be successfully swallowing them, but you're limiting how effectively your body can actually use them. For many seniors, iron levels are already a delicate balance. Too little leads to fatigue and weakness. Too much can be harmful to your organs. If you add a high-dose vitamin E supplement to the mix without spacing them out, you might be masking the effectiveness of your iron therapy. The same principle applies to many other common pairings. It's about creating breathing room in your digestion. I often tell my patients to treat their supplement schedule like a balanced meal plan. You wouldn't eat a heavy steak for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? You'd want variety and space. Your body needs that same variety when it comes to nutrients. If you must take both, try moving your vitamin E to a meal that contains healthy fats, like a lunch with some avocado or a dinner with salmon, as it is a fat-soluble vitamin and needs that fat for absorption. Then, keep your iron separate, perhaps earlier in the day with a small glass of orange juice. The vitamin C will help your body absorb that iron much more efficiently. It's simple, it's safe, and it's a strategy that finally gives your body the green light to put these nutrients to work. I want to back this up with something more than just doctor's advice. The science of nutrient-nutrient interaction is a recognized field of study, and it's arguably one of the most under-taught aspects of clinical medicine. A compelling study published in the Journal of Nutrition examined exactly how mineral absorption is impacted when multiple supplements are introduced to the digestive environment simultaneously. The researchers observed that when participants ingested high-dose calcium alongside magnesium and zinc, the bioavailability of the latter two minerals dropped significantly compared to when they were taken in a fasted state or separated by several hours. The findings were clear. The body's transport capacity for these minerals is not infinite. When you flood the system with one, the others are effectively blocked from reaching the intestinal wall. Furthermore, a study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition specifically looked at the interference between fat-soluble vitamins and mineral absorption. It confirmed that certain combinations, if taken without proper timing or dietary context, can lead to a state of functional deficiency. That means you are consuming the nutrients on paper, but your blood tests show low levels because the absorption cycle was interrupted. This isn't just theoretical. It explains why so many people over 60 tell me, "Doctor, I take my vitamins every day, but I still feel the same." They aren't failing. Their supplement schedule is failing them. By applying these research-backed principles, we move from just taking pills to optimizing biology. We are shifting the environment of your gut to favor absorption rather than competition. This evidence is exactly why I recommend a staggered approach to supplementation, rather than dumping everything into one daily box. So, how do we fix this? How do you take these principles and turn them into a routine that actually works for you? You don't need a medical degree to master your supplement schedule. You just need a system. I call this the morning, noon, night optimization strategy. First, identify your biggest hitters. For most of us, this is the multivitamin or the heavy minerals like calcium and iron. If you take a multivitamin, it usually contains a mix of everything, which is convenient, but it's the source of most competition. Take this with your largest meal of the day, usually breakfast or lunch. The food volume helps buffer the stomach, and the digestive enzymes activated by a full meal help process those complex mixed ingredient capsules. Second, pull out your high-dose individual minerals. If you are specifically supplementing zinc or magnesium, don't put these in your morning box with your multivitamin. Move your magnesium to the evening. It's a wonderful mineral for relaxation, and taking it 30 to 60 minutes before bed can actually support that deep restorative sleep we all crave as we get older. By separating it from your daytime calcium, you solve the absorption bottleneck instantly. Third, look at your fat-soluble vitamins, vitamins A, D, E, and K. These need fat to be absorbed. Do not take them with a plain glass of water. Pair them with a snack that has healthy fats, a handful of almonds, a quarter of an avocado, or even a tablespoon of flaxseed oil. If you take your vitamin D with nothing but a sip of black coffee, you're likely absorbing only a fraction of it. Finally, track your results. For the next 3 weeks, follow this staggered schedule. Keep a simple note of how you feel. Your energy in the afternoon, your digestion, your muscle comfort. If you don't feel a difference, we can adjust. But I suspect that within a month, you'll start to see that you didn't need more supplements, you just needed a smarter plan. You are taking control, and that is exactly how we age with vitality. We've covered a lot of ground today, but I want you to remember the most important takeaway. Your health is not a chore to be managed with a mountain of pills. It is a biological journey that you are the captain of. After 60, your body is doing incredible work every single day, keeping you strong and active. By making these small, evidence-based adjustments to when you take your nutrients, you are supporting that work, not complicating it. You've learned about the calcium-zinc bottleneck, the iron and vitamin E trap, and the power of separating your supplements to match your body's natural rhythm. You are no longer just going through the motions of a daily routine, you are actively optimizing your own internal economy. If this deep dive helped you see your supplement cabinet in a new light, hit that like button. It tells me you want more of these science-backed, actionable guides for living your best life after 60. And if you have a friend or a partner who is also juggling a handful of pills every morning, please share this video with them. You might be the reason they finally start feeling the energy they've been missing. Before you go, I have one last question for you. What is the one supplement you've been taking the longest? And are you curious if you're taking it at the right time? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one, and your questions help me decide what topics we tackle next. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our upcoming guide on natural ways to support heart health as we age. I'm Dr. Carter. Keep taking charge of your health. It is the best investment you will ever make.